ground. Doga stays near the table for a while after Yaman kisses her. The kiss is still on her lips, but her heart is not light. It is stranger to feel happiness in the middle of disaster. A part of her wants to hold on the movement to keep it separate from the case, from a father, from crimes that end, from Riza's threats. But life does not divide itself so kindly. The kiss belongs to the same word as the fire, the confusion, the land afraid and in the danger. Maybe that is why it feels so strong. It is not a simple movement under a clean sky. It is a choice made while the storm is still moving. Yemen stand beside her quiet. He does not look like a man who regrets the case, but he does not look like a man who understands it cost. His fingers are still linked with hair. He looked down at their joined hands as if he is checking whether they are real. Doga notices and gently squeezes his hand. He looks her then and his face softens in a way that makes her just has for so long. Yemen has carried anger like armor. Now, for a small moment, the armor has opened under its weakness. It is a deep, tired deadness. Doga said that should go inside before everyone start looking for them. Yemen say everyone is already looking at them. She follows his eye toward the house and see a curtain moves. Holocene has been watching Doga feels a familiar twist of pain. Her father has already lost her blind trust. Now he is watching her choice. The brother of the man has already lost her will. Do not her Yaman sees her face and asks if she want to explain thing to Halash. Doga gave a small sad smile and say there are not many things to explain and none of them are simple. Yaman say simple thing not be possible anymore. Doga say maybe simple was always in illusion. Her whole life looking simple because she did not know what was hidden under it. Yaman nods. He knew this better than anyone. His own life was simple too before one fire turned every memory into a question. They walked back toward the house together, not touching now but closer than before. The distance between them has changed even when their hands are apart. Something invisible remains connected inside the house. Leah Hanam is still working at the ending table, surrounded by a peers, copies, folders, and two empty teas glasses. She looks up when Doga and Yaman enter, and her sharp eyes because everyone feel like one changed even when their hands are apart. Something invisible remain connected inside the house. Leila sharp eyes notice everything. She does not comment on their face or the new quiet between them. Leila is the kind of woman who know when feeling matter and when they must wait. She tells them the prosecutor has accepted the first evidence packet, but the search warrant to Riza's hunting lodge is still pending. There is pressure from above. Someone is typing to slow the process. That means Riza still has friend in important place. Steph sits on a chair nearby fighting sleeps at losing. He has no head wrapped around a glass of tea and other around his food. Every new minute he wakes himself up and announces that he's completely alert. Nobody believes him. Stands near the window watching the reports outside the gate. His face is brown and grey. He has spoken publicly, but the hardest part is not over. Confusion is only the beginning. Now comes consequence for a man who spent years controlling every outcomes. Waiting for sequences is a different kind of punishment. Say that must move carefully if the warrants arrives. Fierces will search the load at dawn or shortly after. But if Riza has been warned, he may destroy evidence before them reach him. Yaman says Riza will not destroy everything. Man like him always keep loadage matters. Raza's power is built not only on memory but on information. He likely has proof against many people, including himself, because blackmail only work when the blackmailer also keep record. Dogal think of the red folder with Kirman's name. Crimin's name, through she has not seen it yet, she only feels the that something is coming. Riza has been too quiet after the press statement. Quiet does not fit a man who is losing control. He must be preparing an answer, and his answers are never direct. He does not attack only with knife or fire. He attacks with doubt, shame, and emotional trap. He studies that what people love, then turn love into pressure. Doga wonders what he has found to use against Yaman now. Turns from the window and says they should not wait for the warrant. If Raza is preparing to move the archive, they must send someone now to watch the loadage from outside. Say that would be reckless. Say waiting is how they lost year. Room becomes silent except the Rubik because he has no moral ground left from which to argue. Still, this sorry in his face is real. He now reserve better than most. He now that the when Riza is concerned, he does not run fast. He makes someone else build. Yaman say he will go near the lodge alone, and which from a distance Toga immediately say, no. Yaman does not even look surprised. He says someone must see if files are began move. Doga say the word alone is finished between them. Yaman tightens Saftis opens on eye and says he agreed with Doga mostly because Yaman's plan often began with I will go alone and with everyone running through forest. Yaman gives him a dark look. A shift closes his eye again but smile. Decided the matter. Nobody gone alone. Nobody enters the lodge without legal cover. But they can send a trusted officer to watch the outer road from a safe distance. She make a call. Will she speak? Doga looks at Yaman. She is trying to accept the decision, but she can see the fight inside him. Waiting is torture for him. Karen trust may be inside that lodge. Years of grief may be sitting in a cabinet. Will Raza breathe the same year? Yaman want to break the door with his own hand. Doga understand that need, but she also now rejects except if Yaman accepts from pain. Reza will use pain to guide him later when the room briefly empties. Doga stops. Yaman is the hallway. She say she now he want to go. He say knowing does not make waiting easier. She say she is not asking him to feel calm. She is asking him not to give him Raza, the version of him that man who will run toward Cream's name without checking the ground under his feet, but the Yamariza may not know how to fit Yaman. Listen, her words reach him because they are not soft comfort, they are strategy, but they are lost. Also, fit she is telling him that his pain is not his only identity. He asks looks at Yaman, then at Doga. He does not speak for a second. Then he say, "Meet them in the dining room." His voice is controlling, but Doga hears the pain under it. It is not the pain of a father who want to control its daughter heart. It is the pain of a father who now he lost the right to object when they turn to the there is another problem. Marked sized phone has revealed message to a number registered under a false name. The number went active near the hunting lodge only a few hours ago. The suggested Raza is there. It is also suggested now they are coming, say the prosecutors prosecutors is moving faster now because of the ambush and Orted's confusion, but they must accept it. Raza to prepare a sense power meant to not leave evidence laying around unless they want someone to find something specific. This warning stay with Yaman as saying Raza is not only hiding, he may be wringing the truth in a way that hurts them. Yaman thinks of Karam's latter camel words, Helene's confusion. Each trust has been painful, but each one of moved the forward. What kind of truth would Riza want them to see? The question keep him awake as the first light appears outside. By dawn, the search warrant arrives. The officers will go with the prosecutors team. Instant ongoing Yaman demand to the present as Kramer's brother. Doga says she is going to because Raza used her as a treat when she was a child and because her family documents are part of the case. Want to join but refuse. His presence could complicate the legal search and he's already a confused participant in part of the fraud. He must stay at the firm available for questioning. Hates his but he accepts it before Doga leaves. He asks her to leave security. Say officers are enough. Doga looks at her father and says she will be careful. Answers that careful people can still be hurt. Doga says yes, and that is why trust should not be delayed until everyone is safe. Safety may never come. The drive to hunting lodge feels different from every journey before it. This time they are not snaking through back roads of running from attackers. They are moving with legal authority, policed vehicles, and official documents. Yet the danger feels sharper. Raza has had time to prepare. The road climbs toward the northern forest where pine trees grow thick and air becomes colder. The lodge is hidden beyond a private road far from dawn and far from accidental witness. It is the kind of place or a powerful man choice when he wants silence to be part of the building. Doga rides in the back seat with Yaman beside her, safe in is in the front with a trusted officer talking too much because silence make him nervous. He say he does not like rich man's hunting lodges. They always have an emal heats on the wall and secrets in the basement. The officer does not love stiff sign and say serious people make dangerous trips feel longer. Yaman does not respond. His eyes are fixed on the road. He doga lightly touch his hand. He turns his palm forward and hold the fingers. It is a small movement hidden between them, but it steadies them both. The lodge appears after a bend in the road. It is larger than Doga, except it built from dark wood and stone with wide window and a sloping roof. It looks elegant, almost peaceful, surrounded by trees and morning mist. But the pace is false. Two cars are parked outside. The front door is open. Officers separate out carefully, steps from her car and speaks with the lead officer. The search begins inside the loaded smile of leather, smoke, and expensive alcohol. The main room is wide with heavy furniture and carpets and format photographs of hunting trips. Chef's was right animal heads hung on the wall, their glass eye staring down. Doga feel as chill. Men like Raza like to stand beside things they have killed. It makes them feel strong. Yaman looks around with controlled disgust. He sees a large fireplace, a look cabinet, and a desk placed near window like a throne. Reza is waiting there. He sits behind the desk, calm, dressed perfectly with a cup of coffee beside him. He does not look like a man surprised by a police search. He looks like a host receiving guests. When the officers enter, he smile and say they are early. Show the warrants. Reza reads it slowly, as if enjoying the ceremony. He say, if of course he will cooperate. He has nothing to hide. No one in the room believe him. Yaman steps forward before can stop him. Reza I move to him and he smile charges. It becomes personal. He say Yaman looks more like Kermin every war through less politicals. The name lands like a match near dry glass. Yaman body tightens. Toga moves moves silently closer, not to restrain him physically, but to remind him he is not alone. Raza notices his eyes move between them. He say love has made them young man patient. That is disappointing. Yaman voice is low when he say Raza will have enough disappointment today. The officers began searching cabinets opened, the drawers are emptied, computers are taken, a safe is found behind a panel in the study wall. Raza gives the combination without begin ask twist. This is the first sign that something is wrong. If he wanted to hide everything, he would resist. If he gives success easily, it means the safe contains that he wants them to find. Think the same. She wants the officer to document inside the safe and folders are arranged nicely by name. Camel merged several officers, several bankers, and one red folder labeled cream. Yaman sees it and stops breathing for a moment. Doga sees the change in his face. The red folder is exactly the kind of bite Raza would prepare, tells the officer to open it slowly. Inside are photographs, old medical records, letters, and a small sealed envelope. The officer begins documenting, but Raza speaks from behind them. He says, some trust our career. When discovering official Yaman turns toward him, Raza leans back in the chair and says, Kim was brave man, but bravery often hides family weakness. Yaman takes one step toward him, warns him softly. Doga places a hand on his arm. Raza continued enjoying the way each word cuts. He said Yaman spent years believing Karm died only become of a land project. That is partly true, but Krim was also gnawing for someone, their mother. The room seems to lose sound. Yaman's face empties. Doga looked at him, focused and alarmed. She now almost nothing about Yaman's mother. He has never spoken of her. Yaman say his mother died when he was young. Raza smiles gently, which makes the movement ugly. He said that is what Yaman was told. The officers keep searching, but the emotionally center of the room. He moved to Raza's desk. Yaman's voice became rough. He asked what Raza means, tells him not to engage. Raza say he does not meet the documents will speak anyway. The sealed envelope contains a photograph of a common woman in a hospital garden, older than Yaman would remember, but with eyes has like behind the photograph is a name, Salima, Yaman's mother. There are also hospital form, transfer paper and letters sent to Cream. Doga watches Yaman take the photography with shaking hand. The anger in him is suddenly replaced by something younger and more fragile, a child confusion, a child hope rising where hope should not exist. Raza say Salima did not die when Yaman was young. She was placed in a private car facility. After a breakdown, Cream found out years later. He believed there was something foreign but about the people who had paid to keep Salima out of sight. Yaman stares at the photograph. He whispers that his father said she died. Raza says father often lie to protect children or they protect themselves. Look briefly at Doga, making sure the sentence also touches through her. Yaman demands to know where Salima is now. Raza say the folder has the last now a faculty whether she is still alive. He cannot say the cruelty of his answer is perfect. It gives enough trust to break Yemen foundation, but not enough to real anything. Doga understands Raza pain. He wants Yemen to leave the legal part and case his mother ghost. He wants him angry, unstable, distracted. He wants Doga torn between spotting him and keeping the case together. Leela takes the documents before Yaman can hold them too long. She says they will be copied and verified. Yaman turns on her, his pain becoming defensive. He said whose papers are about his mother. Voice remains steady. She say exactly, and because they are about the mother, they must be protected from manipulation. Raza may have mixed truth with falsehood. If Yaman runs after the papers without checking them, they may walk into another trap. Doga say Leela is right. Yaman look at her heart as if she has taken the paper from him herself. Doga heart twist, but she does not step back from the truth. She says they will find out together, but not the way Raza want. Raza claps once slowly. The sound is soft but insulting. He say Doga is learning quickly. Then he asks if she will also tell Yaman that her father now about Slim. The room freezes again. Doga turned toward Raza. Yaman turns toward her. Raza smiles. He say old company handle payments to the faculty for several years, perhaps forget powerful mean forget so many things. Toga feels the ground shift under her. She does not know if this is true. She does not know if now what is the payment were for, but Yaman face so show that uncertainty it is itself is enough to warn. Yaman asks Doga if now. Doga says she does not know. Yaman say that answer is becoming familiar. He does not shout, but the bitterness hurt more than shouting. Doga says she will ask him. Yaman laugh once without humor. Ask if has ever answered before. Through forced him. Doga feels tears rise but holds them back. This is exactly what Razat wanted. He has taken the new bond between them and placed shadow over it again. The officers continue searching to Lodge to find the drive false contract and leader hidden not in the safe but under the floor of a storage room. That part last. Raza did not intended the handover easily. He slammed cracks slightly when the hidden compartment is opened. Notice so does Yaman through his mind in half on Salima. The leaders are important. They cannot resort to payment intimidation and hidden land ownership. Yemen word has become weaker as Raza is taken into formal custody for questioning. He passes close to Yemen. Officers hold him, but the pushes but just enough to speak. He said Khan died trying to save everyone. The movement, the farmers' daughter, his mother, such a heavy burden for one man. Then he looked at Doga, say, love of family. But inside the farm, the biggest shock is not the new, it is the photograph of Salima. Yaman does not speak on the right back. He sits with his hands staring out the window. Doga sits beside him, feeling him drift away, even though he is inches from her. She wants to reach for him, but every attempt feels dangerous. He is not angry only at her, he is angry at the world, at crime, at his father, at himself, at possibility that his mother may have been alive all these years while he mourned her. That king of pain does not make room easily for comfort. When they reach the farm, Yaman goes straight to the workshop. Doga starts to follow, but Brit Doga says she cannot leave him alone. Chefs say alone is not always abandonment. Sometimes it is the only place a man can fall apart without feeling watched. Doga hates that he may be right. She watches the workshop door close behind. Watched. Doga hates that he may be right. She watches the workshop door close behind Yaman and feels helpless in the in his study when Doga enters the stand. As soon as seen her face, she does not waste time. She asks if he now Yaman mother was alive, looks confused first, then she says Salima. Name his confusion turns into memory, then shocks. He sighs down slowly. Doga anger rises because they recognize that look. It is not the look of a man hearing a new lie. It is it is the look of a man finding an all forgotten room inside himself. Say he did not know Salima was Yaman's mother. Doga asked what he did now. He said years ago Rise asked him to process several private payments through a former partner. Did not ask many questions at the time. He was already trapped by Riza over the land feud. Processing payments seemed small compared to everything else. Roga stares at him. Small, the word is unbelievable. She say a hidden woman life was not small. A child believing his mother was dead was not small. Crime searching for was not small. A child believing mother he was not small. Covers his face with his hand. He says he did not connect it. He should have. He should have asked. He should have stopped. He should have done my things. Done. Doga say the world is full of things he should have done. Now they need what he can do. He must remember every payment, every faculty, name, every contact, every date. Halchi notes he opens old company records on his computer and calls him former accountant. For once he does not defend himself, he works. Doga takes the first list of payment records to Laila. The records show a faculty outside Lismire, then are transferred to another private care firm home years later. The final payment stopped 3 years ago. That does not prove Salima died. The word mean she was moved. Must verify through official medical and legal channels. They cannot simple appears at a must verify through official medical and legal channel. They cannot simple appears at a faculty and demands record, especially if Reza has planted trap. But Yaman will not wait long. Doga now this she goes to the workshop near evening. The door is not looked inside. Yaman has taken apart an engine. He does not seem to be repairing. Tools lie around him and his hands are black with grease. He looks up when she enters, then looks away. Doga stay near the door at first. She tells him found payment records. He say course he did. There is always another record, another signature, another silence. Doga say claims he did not know how Salima was. Yaman laughs coldly. Never know enough to be worst man, but always know enough to help the worst man. The sentence hurts because it is too closer to truth. Doga says she is not there to defend her father. Yaman says maybe not, but she will always stand near him because he is her father. Doga say yes, she will stand near him when he does right and against him when he hides wrong. Yaman asks what happens when standing near means standing across from him. Doga walks closer. She said then she will stand where truth is even if it breaks her. He looks He looks at her finally. He says, are tired, angry, and full of pain. He asks if she know what it feels like to discover that a great grave inside your heart may be empty. Doga say no, she will pretended. Yaman say he mourned his mother. He was a child and he mourned her. He forgot the sound of her voice because he thought time and had taken it. He stopped asking questions because every adult gave the same answer. She was gone. Cream must know or discovered something, and he did not tell Yaman before he decided. Now even Cream silence hurts. Yaman hates himself for feeling angry at this dead brother, but he does not. Doga listened, understanding that pain is rarely fair. She tells him Graham may have wanted proof before opening that wound. Yaman say maybe or maybe everyone decide what he could handle. His father, Grim Reza, Hulk now Durga is telling him to wait to Durga takes the below because there is some truth in it. She says she is not telling to wait because the thinks he is weak. She is telling him to wait because Reza wants to him rush and she cannot bear the truth of him control Doga's finances. That is the bond between them. Protection and control have looked too similar in her life. She says she is right to question that. Then she steps back. She says she will not lock door, hide key, or decide for him he chooses. If he chooses because every adult gave him answer, decide brother, but does not listening, understand the pain is rarely, cannot bear the thoughts of walking into another trap. Yaman run away. He say her fear sound too much like controlled Doga. Financing that is the bond between them. Protection and control have looked too similar in her life. She say right question that then she steps back. Step tonight to choose the dress. She cannot stop but ask him to take her stuff and legal support with him, not because he is weak but because the uh, deserves witness his mother truth should him. She is not using love to hold him, she is offering love as company. He sits down on the old stool, suddenly excited. He say he does not know how to carry this. Doga comes closer slowly. This time he does not pull away. She kneels in front of him, not caring about the dust and aggressive. She say he does not have to carry it beautifully. He can be angry, confusion, unfair, silent, broken, all of it. He just cannot decide that his pain turns him into Yaman, looks at her, and the first tear falls at her. She only resists, her hand on his neck. For a long time they stay like that. No dramatic music, no perfect word, not just people sitting in a workshop full of tools, surrounded by a truth that has opened another wounded. Finally, Yaman covers her hand with his voice is rough when he say he is sorry. Doga said there is nothing to be sorry for. He say he was cruel. He say pain speaks badly. Sometimes he say what does not make it right. Doga smiles sadly. No, but it makes it human. That night, Leila confirms that the first faculty listed in the payment record still exists, but changed ownership. The second faculty closed 3 years ago. Some patients were transferred to state care, some to private homes, some to family members. Lima records are sealed and possibility flash filed. Leila can request access through the legal case. Suggests but it may take time. Yemen hates the word time every hour. Now feels stolen. Staff say they must not reveal too much, but they can go as private citizens asking about historical records. She will send a lawyer with them. Meanwhile, Raza's questioning bring little. He denies everything. He claims the document at the Doga were all materials kept for business protection. He say Camel and Murst are blaming him to reduce their own guilt. He say Yemen is unstable because of family trauma. He say Doga is emotionally compressed. His lures move fast. By night there is talk that he may be released under restrictions if protectors become connect him directly to the violent act quickly enough. Leela is furious but not surprised. Money does not erase law, but it can slow its death. The next morning, Doga Yaman and a young lawyer named is drive to the old care facility outside Lazmi Hulches. They stay behind, continuing to search record. He gives all recipient with Salima in italians and a date from the year Scream died. Says he should have asked question then. He cannot change that, but perhaps this will help. Now Yaman takes the recipient without thanking him, does not accept thanks. The drive is long. Yaman is quieter. She is learning that loving Yaman means not demanding easy closeness. When his past is turning open, the care faculty is located behind high walls and old trees. It is clean but tired, the kind of place that has seen too many families arrive with guilt and leave with silence. Our our patience greets them with polite suspensions. EC explained that they are saying historical information about a former patient, Salima. The recipients say all records and achieved and connect to be shared without authorization. EC present legal documents showing they are connected to an active criminal investigation. The recipients becoming nervous and call the director. The director is a woman in her sensitive 17s named Nermian. She moves slowly but speaks clearly. When she hears Slima's name, something changed in her eye. She asks, "Who is asking?" Yaman say, "He is Slima." Son Nirman's face softens with shock. She invites them into her office. The walls are lined with files, plants, and old photographs of staff. She closes the door and sits down carefully. She says she wondered if one day someone could come. Yaman's hands tighten. Doga sits beside him, ready to support but not interrupt. Nirman explained that Salima arrived at the faculty many years ago under private argument. She was not violent, not dangerous, but deeply traumatized. She spoken little at first. Later, she spoke often of two sons, Krims and Yaman. Yaman closes his say Slima kept asking when her boy would visit. Staff were told the family did not want contact and that contact would harm her recovery. The elders came through lawyers and payments not enough through doctors alone. Yaman asked who gave those orders. Nerman say she never met the main man at first. The payment came through companies. Later, one man visited twice Reza. He said Salima's situation was connected to sensitivity, family matters. Nirman did not like him. Doga asked if ever visited. Nirman shakes her head. She says she does not remember Holeshi. Yaman breathes out slowly through it. Does not ears. Holesh rolls to the pavement. It only means he may not have seen Salma with his own eyes. Nirman opens an old drawer and takes out a small box. She says when Salima was transferred from the faculty, she left some personal item behind. The latter faculty never requested them. Nirman kept the box because throwing away our personal memories felt cruel. She placed it in front of Yaman. His fingers hesitate before opening it. Inside are cruel she scarf, a broken chair clipped to pressed flowers, and a small notebook on the first page. Them alive inside her. Yaman cannot speak. Doga cover her mouth, fighting tears. Steph turn away, pretending to look out window. Nirman says Salima was moved after a young man visited and caused trouble. Yaman look up. Nirman nods. She says Karima came with proof that he was her son. He was furious when he learned Salima had been told legal help. Within days, order came to transfer Salima to another faculty. Agreement turned, but Salima was already gone. He shouted in his office. Nirman still remembered his word. They buried my mother while she was breathing. Yaman stands suddenly unable to stay steady. He walks to window, breathing hard. Doga wants to go to him, but Nirman continues, and the information matters. Salima transfer me code. It's the second faculty, but Nirman say where was something strange. Protested, but documents were signed. The man overseeing faculty transfer was not Riza. It Doga. Show her from the locker. She points to Murat. Doga feels anger rise again. Murat away near the faculty family door. Always useful. Raza. Echo takes notes. Nirman said she does not know where Silma went after that. She significantly later claimed she was transferred again, but the record may be false. She gives them copies of everything and legally can and promise to speak to the prosecutor, gives them copies of everything she legally before leaving. Yaman asked one final question. Was Salima well enough to understand? Nirman's face becomes gentle. She says Salima had hard days and clear days. One clean her Yaman notes, but the answer near destroying him. Outside the office, he walks into the garden and sits on a bench under an old tree, the same kind of garden from the photography. Doga sits beside him for a while. Neither speaks. Then Yaman opens Lima notebook. Murray. Many pages are confused, full of repeated words and broken memories, but some sentences are clear. Karima will ask question. Yaman must not be angry forever. Do not trust the man with silver ring. I did not leave then. Yaman touches the latest sentence. I did not have leave him. He whispers it like me to test whether the word can full of grief, but also a small piece of relief. His mother did not abandon him. That lie at latest he crushed. Steph joined them after a while, usually quiet. He said they should go before anyone connected to Reza here. They were there. They leave with the box, copies of record and new direction. Murat rule in moving Salima. The case is now larger than the fraud and Karima's death. It includes unlawful confinement, feels false record, and possibly a missing woman. If Salima is alive, she may be the most important witness and the deepest wound. On the way back, Eco receives all calls from Leela. Raza has been released under strict conditions. Will the investigation continue? He cannot leave the country, but Leela evidence was planted or misread. The hidden legal are strong, but the legal fighting will powerful men can be worried. When they return to the farm, meets them at the entrance. Toga tells him what Nirman said, listened with visible shame when she explained the payment and the transfer. Yaman stands nearby, holding slim box, looks at him and he is sorry. Yaman's face hardens. He says, "Look, sorry is becoming a word everyone uses after years of silence." Notes. He says, "Yes, it is not enough, but it is still true." Yaman walks past him without answering. That evening, the farm received another blow. In visitors pull off the new development deal because of the scandal. Bank representatives called to review loan. Suppliers ask for early payment. The farm's future becomes uncertain. Workers worry about salaries. Farmers worry their new legal fight will destroy with what little business remains. Guilt has become not only moral but financial. The house that once felt secure now one feels like a ship taking water. Doga gathers the workers and skips to them. Honestly, she does not promise that everything will be fine. She said the farm is trouble, but hitting the truth would have restored in a worse way. She say watches. Yamans looked at her, and the harshness in his face softness. He says she keeps giving pieces of him back. Doga say maybe he is doing the same for her. She asked what piece of him back. Doga say maybe in his doing the same for her. She asked what piece he give. She thinks of for a moment, gods, she said, not the Lord the kind that stay after pride breaks. Yaman reach across the table and takes her hand. This time the gesture feels clamor, not safe, but clamor. They sit that way until shift knocks on the door with no patience and say, has found something, has traced on of the letter, care transfer records to a private home network that no longer officially exists. Several patients were moved under false family approvals. One approval signature may be Mark's, another signature usually entails SK. Yaman goes still SK called Bislim's Avon name, but Leela say the style does not match. It may belong to someone else. They need more verification. The paper trail points on a coastal town where the network once operated a small resistance. If Salima survived the transfers, she may have passed through there. It is not proof the she remains there, but it is the best bail lead. Yaman want to leave immediately. Leela say they will go no morning with official spot. Yaman argue. Leela tells him that running at night after a Roman missing for decades will not bring him closer to her, but it may bring Raza closer to him. Doga watches Yaman struggle with himself. Finally, he agrees to wait until dawn. This is not surrender, it is not strength. And Droga now how much it costs him during the night. Raza makes his next move. A message arrives on Yaman phone from an unknown number. It contains only a short audio clip. In the clip, a woman's voice sing a few lines of an old lullaby. Yaman drops the phone as if it has burned him. Doga, who is nearby, picks it up and hears the voice. It is faint, old and damaged by recording noise, but it is real. Yaman say it is his mother song, the same one he remembered early. The message has no location, no demand, no explanation, only the song. Reza has found the DPS place to streak. Yaman called the number back, but it is already inactive. Staff tries to trace it with help from his cousin's son, but it is led now here. Useful. Leela say the clip may be old, it may be taken from faculty recording, it may be fake. Through Yaman instant this voice is here. Doga believe him, but belief does not solve anything. The message proves Raza now about Slima and can reach Yaman emotionally whenever he wants. It may also man about Slima can reach Slima is alive. That possibility is about hope and tutorial. Yaman does not sleep at all. At dawn, he is ready before everyone else. Doga find him in the yard holding Slim's notebook. She say they will go together. He say this may become ugly. She say
Many things already have. He say he does not know what he will do if Raja has been using his mother all this year. Doga said then they will make sure that law sees it. Yeah, Yaman say the law moves slowly. Doga say yes, but if it moves only to be careful, but from Doga, the words do not feel like chains, they feel like a hand on his back, keeping him from falling. The trap to the coastal town begins under our gate clouds. Rain starts halfway there, soft at first, then redder. The road becomes shiny and dark. Shafet drives this time because Yaman mind too restless and nobody say that out loud. Echo comes again with legal person a plainclothes officer follows in another car. Dogo sits beside Yaman and he holds the notebook like an anchor. The coastal resistance is not a hospital anymore. It is quite crumbling building near a road lined with inculcates tries a sign outside say it is now a storage office for a charity, but the window are duty and the gate is locked. The place looks abandoned. The officer checks the gate. No one answers. Echo calls the listed number and gets a discontented line. Chef mutters that abandoned buildings have become too common in their life. They are about to leave and seek formal entry permission when an old man appears from the next property. He asks who they are looking for. Eco explains they are asking about a former care residence. The old man says it closed years ago after strange people. Man think for a man. Then he say there was women how sang a night. He does not know her name. She had dark eyes and waited at the gate often, saying her son should come. Yaman grips the fence so hard it uncurls the runway. The old man say one day a black car came. A man with a silver ring spoke to the staff. The singing woman was taken away. She carried that dream and promised to return. Yaman lowers his head. Doga touches his back. The man says he may have something years ago after the resistance closed some papers below into his garden. He kept them in a box because he he thought they might matter one day. Every looks at him. He shrugs and say all people keep strange things in this small house. The man bring a tin box inside are damp paper, a patient list at a torn transfer sheet. The name Selima appears with a new sermon written beside it, not Yaman family name, a false name. There is also address from 3 years ago, a village inland, eco photographs, everything. The officers calls it in. Yaman stares at the address for the first time. They have real place connected to cinema. After that payment stop before they can decide the next steps. Doga receive a call from his voice assistant. Reports have learned about Slima. Someone leaked that human mother may be alive and connected to the case. Cameras are already outside that farm again, shouting and connecting question about secret hospitals, and hidden women. Riza is spreading the history before they can verify it, running cinema life into another scandal. Yaman hears enough to understand his face goes cold. Doga and the call and say they cannot let the press reach the village. That if Selima is there, she must not be flagrant by cameras. Riza's is they drive toward inland village immediately. The rain stops, but the sky remains heavy. The village is small, quiet, and surrounded by low hills. The dress leads to a modest house with a blue door and a garden full of herbs. An older woman answers her close. She says no such person lives there. Woman steps forward holding the notebook. He says he is her son. The woman looks at him carefully. Something in his face reaches her. She does not open the door wider, but she does not close it. Fatma say many people have come asking questions over the years, some with papers, some with threats, some with money. She asks why she should believe them. Doga speaks gently. She said they do not want to harm Salima. They want to know if she is safe. Fatma eyes move to her. She asks who Doga is. Doga does not know how to answer. Simply she says she is someone who should have asked questions early, and song is mother sung. Yaman sing the first line of the lubrically voice breaking. Fatma closes her eye. When she opens them, she steps aside. Inside the house, time seems slower. The rooms are clean and warm. A kettle sits on the stove. On a small table are drawings of flowers, bird and two boys standing under a sun. Yaman stops before the drawing. His hand shakes. Fatma leads them to a back room overlooking the garden. There, in a chair by the window, sits Salima. She is older, thinner, and fragile, but alive. Yaman stops at doorway for a movement. He cannot move. The woman trusts her head slowly. Her eyes settle on him. Confusion press through man. First, then searching, then fear, then something like recognition trying to rise through fog. Doga stand behind Yaman, tears already filling staff, silently removes his cap. Echo stay back, understanding that love must wait for bold. Yaman whisper, and mother sleeps. Lips tremble. She looks at the face, then at the notebook in his hand. Her voice is small when she say Karm name first. Yaman flinches, but he answers gentle. He say, finding the name inside herself. He canes before her chair, shaking. She reaches out with thin fingers and touches her here. The touch is uncertain but real. Yaman breaks the lower his head into her lap like the child he once was, and Slima hand reset on him. No one speak. There a man movement where word be disrespectful. Doga turns away to give them privacy, but she cannot stop crying. Fatma watches with tired kindness. She explained softly that Salima came to her through a former rules who could no longer keep her in the private system. Fatma was paid at first by unknown people, then the payment stopped. By then, she called not abandon Salima as a small boy. He, she, now she was kept away, but the memories come in pieces. Fatma feared anyone asking about her because men came to us warning her not to speak if anyone scared. Doga asks if one whose men who are silver ring. Fatma nods. Riza, even here is shadow reached Yaman stay with Salima for a long time. He tells her Karm loved her. He tells her he looked for her. He does not tell her everything about the fire. Not now. Salima listened, sometimes clear, something drifting. She asks if Krima is coming. Yaman face twist. He say Krima is with them in another way. Salima seems to understand for a moment because tears fill her eyes. She say her love, her brave boy. Then she looks at Yaman and say her fireboy. The word from the notebook. Yaman holds her hand as if holding the last living bridge to his childhood. Doga steps outside into the garden. She needs air. The beauty of the moment is mixed with rain. Salima is alive, but years were stolen from her. Years were stolen from Yemen. Died searching for mother, hidden by the same network of fear and money. Company helped send money payments. Mert helped move her. Risa used her as leverage, and anyone who asked too few questions become part of the catch. Doga feel the full meaning of responsibility again, not guilt for every crime, but responsibility for what she does now. uh, that she now. Yaman comes outside after a while. She faces wet but calm in a strange way, not peaceful, never that, but steadier. He says she is alive. Doga nods. He will it again as if the truth must be repeated to become real. Doga steps closer. He pulls her into arms and holds her with disrespectful gratitude. She holds him back. He says he does not know whether to feel joy or rage. Doga say he can feel both. He say Cram founder and her lost her again. Doga say now Yaman found her, that matters. He say it is too late. Doga say yes, and it is still not nothing. They arrange protection for Salima and Fatma. Immediately echo contact Lee. The prosecutor is informed Salima will need medical evaluation, legal protection, and gentle handling. She cannot dredge into the public case like a document. She is a person wanted by many years. Yaman instant this she must not go to a cold institution. Fatma agreed to stay with her if protected law begins arranging a safe medical resistance and witness care. But Raza already now, as they prepare to leave the village with official protection on the way, a message arrives on Doga phone. This time it is from an unknown number. Now he has his mother. Ask yourself what he needs you for. Doga stares at the message. It is poison, small and carefully made. Riza wants her to fear that Yaman love grew from shared pain and will fade now that he has found a deeper part of himself. It is cruel because it touches our fear. She already spoke aloud. What if he crisis he is what hold them together? She delayed the message without showing Yaman at first. Then she stops hiding. Even small thing is how wrote began. She show him. Yaman reads it. His face hardness, then softness. Then he understand why it
hurt her. He says Raza is wrong. Doga asks how he can be sure when nothing in there lives in steady. Yaman takes her land. He says finding his mother does not erase what he feels for her. Pain may have brought them onto the same road, but it is not only reason he wants her beside him. He wants her because she tells the truth even when it costs her. Beside him, he wants her because she tells the truth even when it costs her. Her beside him, he wants her because she tells the truth even when it cost her, because she stand in room where she could run, because she see the worst in her family and still choose justice, because when she word breaks she does not try to warn his pain or escape it. She stayed. Doga tries to smile, but tears come instead. She said that was better than almost romantic. Yaman say he is improving under pressure. She laughed through tears, and for a brief moment Riza lost, not legally, not finally, but in that all small garden his poison does not work. They return to the farm after Slima is safely moved under protection. Yaman does not bring her to the farm yet. Too many reporters, too much danger, too many emotions. He visits her again that evening at the safe medical resistance with Doga and Fatma. Salima visits her again, has a clear moment and asks about the farm. Doga tells her it has old trees, stubborn, has a clear movement and asks about the farm people and a horse named Rugar. Salman smiles faintly. She say calm like horses. Yaman closes his eyes at the money. Doga reach for his hand under the table back at the farm. Ask if Salima is truly alive. Yaman say yes. Face fills with shame so deep it almost looked like illness. He asked if he may help with her care financially. Yaman eyes flash. Doga worries he will refuse harshly, but Yaman only say want to help. He should give every record, every name, and every payment connected to her. No missing piece. I say he will this time. Yaman believes he may try. The next day bring legal movement. Salman's discovery strengthens the cause. Morat's rule expands. Raza lawyers try to deny knowledge, but the message transfer records and witness account begun from forming a chain. The farmer's case Genix public spot. She will build with more flowers than before. Her father gives a statement about camel and the old fear. The tone one silent is now full of voices. Yet Raza remains out of person, protected by layers and old influences. There warns everyone that building a case is like building a bridge over a river during a storm. Each piece matters. One wrong steps can collapse it. They must avoid emotionally mistake. This warning is mainly for Yaman but also for Doga and every form who want immediate justice. The law must move strongly enough to hold. In the middle of all this, Doga receives an unexpected visit from her aunt, a woman from her mother said named Fried arrives with right
red eyes, claiming she can become bridge something important. Letters from Doga. Mother, she say Doga and mother suspected was involved in something dark before she died. She wrote letters but never sent them, fearing Doga would be hurt. Fred kept them because she did not know what else to do. Doga regards the first letter along in her room. Her mother's handwriting is elegant and familiar. The letter says she had seen change after the land project. He became colder, more afraid, more controlling. She heard Raja's name whispered during late call. She suspected someone was Duga to keep silent, but she had no proof. She wrote that if Doga ever read the letter, she should remember this. Love without truth become a beautiful person. Doga sits with the letter for a long time. Her mother's now enough to be affected, but not enough to act, or maybe she acted in a way Doga still does not. Now, the sentence about love becomes a mirror. Love Doga but build a person of silence around her. Yaman loves Doga but fears protecting her might become control. Doga loves Yaman but must not use his pain to define herself. Love without trust become a person. She writes this statement down and keep it in her pocket. That evening she shares the letter with Yaman. They sit on the steps outside the stable watching the sky turn over orange. Yaman reads the sentence and say her mother was wise. Doga say wisdom did not save her. Yaman say maybe it is saving Doga. Now she leans her head against his shoulder. He allowed it without hesitation. That small is feel now. He tells her Salima had a clear day and remembered Cream bringing her a blue scarf. The scarf was in the box. Doga asked if Salima remembered him as an adult. Woman said no, not fully, but she held his hand and did not let go. That was enough for today. Doga said enough for today is becoming a rule they must live by. Yaman agrees they cannot solve decide decades in one week. They cannot heal every wounded with one confusion, one kiss, one reunion, or one court feeling. They can only take the next honest step. For today, Salima is safe. For today, the ferments are speaking. For today, Riza is begun. Watched. For today, Yaman and Doga are still sitting side by side. But night brings the next turn. Layers arrives at the farm with urgent news. One of Riza accountants has agreed to cooperate, but he will speak only if moved safely before morning. He claims he can prove Riza ordered the imitation campaign, including the flavor shop, fired the mountain ambition, and the threats against Salima's caretaker. He also claimed there is a hidden account holding profits from the stolen land. If true, this could lead to assist freezes and resistance for the farmers. The accountants is they leave official court. The hotel is plain, quiet, and nearly empty. Rain begins again, tapping against the window. The accountant, a thin man named Orhan, waits in a back meetings room. He looks like fear has eaten him from inside. He has filed a laptop and a drive and speaks first clam and firm. Orhan say Riza has accounts under shell companies includes one in linked to Mart. He say money from the stolen land was moved, aborted, then brought back through investment. He say received some profit but far less than Riz kept. He say Riz ordered the recent attacks through man paid in cash, but the accountant record instruction after Riz began threatening him to Doga watch Orhan speak and thinks how Cowden always asked to be rewarded once danger changed direction. Still, his evidence may help many people. Prepares the statement. Yaman listened restless but focused. Then Orhan say one more things. Riza has prepared to leave to the country using a private boat. If the S-freeze is approved, he plans to disappear before arrest becomes unavoidable. The boat is scheduled to leave from a small marina before dawn. Leila immediately called two prosecutor officers. Move the room fills with urgency. Orhan signed the statement and hands over the drive. Outside the hotel, thunder rolls. Doga feels the case entering its next stage. Riza may finally run. A man who run can be catch, but he can also destroy what he leaves behind. As they leave the hotel, the light go out for 1 second. Everything is back. The emergency light flickers red in the hallway. Yaman grabs Doga hand, pulls the evidence back, closes. A shout comes from the lobby. The escort effort speaks into his radio, but the signals crackles. Yaman tells everyone to move toward the back exit. Orhan panics, saying Riz found him. Leila ordered him to stay quiet. They move quickly through the emergency it controlled lit corridor. At the stairwell, two men appear below, not hotel staff. Yaman pushes Doga behind him. The officer draws his weapon and orders them to stop. One man runs, the other raises his hand, pretending surrender, then throws something that fills the stairwell with smoke. Jaws breaks again. Yaman pulls Doga down a side corridor. Leela, Orhan and the officer move the other way with the evidence. Doga coughs, eyes burning. Yaman keeps hold of her hand. They reach a service room and shut the door. Smokes keep under it. Doga whispered that Lay has the evidence. Yaman say good. Doga asks about Orhan. Yaman say Leila will protect him. He is listened at the door. Footsteps pass. Someone is searching. Doga realizes this attack may not be recover evidence only. It may be to take one of them. Riza need leverage. If he is running, he phone vibrate a message. Every living thing protect what it loves. Yaman sees it, his face becomes deadly. Doga said this is way they must stay calm. He say calm is becoming difficult. She now he look at her and her the fear between them is clear. Riza is amazing exactly where he promised at love. The footsteps fade. Yaman opens the door slowly. The hallway is empty. They move toward the back stairs, but as they turn the corner, a man grabs Doga from behind. Yaman reacts instantly, striking him, but another man attacks from the beside. Doga fights hard, remembering every movement and refuses to be helpless. She bites the handover. Her mouth kicks backward and breaks free. For a second, Yaman knocks one man down, but the second pull a gun. Everything stops. The man points the gun at Doga, not Yaman. He tells Yaman to step back. Yaman freezes, his whole body becomes a right wire pulled tight. Doga sees the terror in his eyes, not fear for himself, fear for her. The man tells Doga to move. She looks at Yaman and gives the smallest shake of her head. Do not rush, do not give Reza what he wants. Yaman understands, but every instant in him screams against waiting. Then stuff appears from the service elevator with a fire extinguisher and hits the armored man from behind. The gun falls. Yaman moves like lightning, pulling Doga away and knocking the man down. Chef shout that he always now hotel were more dangerous than forest. Doga, shaking almost laugh. Yaman pulls her into him for 1 second, fires and protective. Then let's go because they must move. They find Leila outside with Orhan and the officer. The evidence is safe. Backup arrives minutes later. The attackers are captured, but they refuse to speak. Orhan is moved to secure custody. Leila said the Mariana operation is already underway. Rizwe escape route may be closing. The section ends before dawn with police vehicles racing toward the Maria. The farm waking to another wave of news, and Riza stand on the deck of a private boat under heavy clouds. He has lost documents, witness and control of the public story, but he still has money, man, and one latest crew believe he cannot avoid the truth. He can make your body reach it without scare. At the hotel, Yemen holds Doga hand so tightly it almost hurts. She does not pull away. They have survived another trap, but the message is clear. Riza will keep aiming at the heart. The search of justice has found Salima exposed murder, strengthened the farms, and pushed Riza toward escape. Yet the final fight is now closer than ever. By sunrise, either Riza will be catched or he will disappear with secrets that can still destroy them all. The smile before the storm. Morning came to Oral with a gentle light, but nothing felt gentle anymore. The fields were bright, the air smiled or wet earth, and the repaired water system moved with a steady sound. Yet Doga could not enjoy any of it. The night before had left a mark on her mind. She had heard men speak about her like she was a problem to be solved. She had heard the father's name placed close to danger. She had seen Yaman's face change when the truth came near. Now every sound around her felt like a warning. Every closed door seemed to hide a secret. Every friendly smile looked like it might be covering a lie. She stood at the window of her room and watched the workers arrive one by one. Some moved slowly, still tired from the storm. Some laughed with each other, trying to make the day feel normal. Doga wanted to believe in that normal life. She wanted to believe that the farm was only a farm, that money problem were only money problem, and that her father was only strict man who did not know how to love softly. But the old belief was breaking inside her. Once doubt enters a heart, it does not leave easily. It sits there quietly and touches everything. Downstairs, breakfast was already being begun, served, and prepared the table herself. Even though a servant could have done it, she did not. She did that when the house felt heavy. Food was her language of peace. Fresh bread, olives, cheese, honey, tomatoes, and tea were placed carefully as if a beautiful table could protect a family from ugly throat. Doga entered the room with slow steps. Her father was already sitting at the head of the table, reading message on his phone. He did not look up, smiled at Doga with worry in her eye. You did not sleep well. She did. Doga sat down and poured tea into a small glass. I slept enough. Finally looked at her. People who sleep enough do not look like they fought a war in their dream. Doga held the tea glass between her fingers. It was warm, but her handle still felt cold. Maybe I am tired of dreams. Maybe I prefer fact now. Perhaps placed a hand on the table, soft but nervous. Let us now not start the day with tension. Leaned back, his face carried the calm of a man who believed he still controlled the room. Your mother is right. There is work to do. We do not have time for emotional speeches. Dogal looked directly at him, then gave me practical answer. Our silence filled the clinic of a spoon against a plate sounded too loud. Eyes narrowed slightly. About what? About the suppliers, about the strange payments, about why the same equipment keeps failing, about why people are afraid to speak. Face lost color. Doga did not stop. Something inside her had crossed a line. You always tell me I do not understand business, so explain it. Explain it clearly. Smiled, but the smile did not reach his eye. This is exactly what I warned you about. You spent 2 days with that engineer. Suddenly you think suspension is intelligence. His name is Yaman. Doga said he is asking question because something is wrong. His job is to repair system replied not to pension patient. My daughter mind. Doga almost laughed, but there was no joy in it. My mind was not empty before the arrived hostess hand tightened around his phone carefully. The word was quiet, but it carried years of authority in the past. That one word could stop Doga. It would make her swallow her anger, leaves the room, and later convince herself that she had overreacted. But today she had another meaning inside it. Careful mean obey, careful mean stay, smile, careful mean to do look behind the curtain. She placed the tea glass down. I am began careful. That is why I am asking before everything becomes worries. Her father stood. You will stay away from the project file today or rose quickly, please. He ignored her. You wanted responsibility. Good responsibility also mean knocking when the steps back. You are too involved, too emotionally, too influenced. Doga felt her throat tighten, but she kept her voice steady. If I step back, what happened? What need to happen? He said that answer, said nothing yet. It revealed enough. Doga watched him leave the room. She heard his footsteps move down the hallway. Then the door closed behind him. Only then did she breathe came to her side and touched her shoulder. "My daughter," she whispered, "some doors are dangerous to open." Doga looked at her mother. "Then why they did not spend my whole life teaching me to be afraid of doors?" Eyes filled with tears. "I taught you to survive." "No," Doga said softly. "You taught me to stay silent." The word hurt both of them. Doga regretted the sharpness as soon as she saw her mother's face, but she could not take it back. Maybe some truth had to wound before they could heal. She felt the room before her cards turned into guilt. Outside the today had become warmer. The sunlight touched the stone path, make the garden look peaceful. Doga walked quickly toward the farm office, but before she reached it, Stuffed appeared from behind a truck holding a clipboard upside down and looked like a man who had been waiting for the right moment but had chosen the wrong place. Doga hum, he said, lowering his voice as if the olive streets might report him. "I have information." Doga stopped. "Why are you whispering?" "Because information powerful," he said, "and powerful things should not be shouted." "You are holding the clipboard upside down." Chef looked at it, turned it around, then nodded with dignity. "That is because I was thinking deeply. I was, despite everything." Doga almost smiled. Stuffed had a strange gift. He could enter the most serious movement and make it silently less painful without even trying. "What information?" He moved closer. "Yaman Bay is at the old greenhouse. He found something in irrigation record. He told me not to tell anyone, so naturally I am directly to you. That is the opposite of not telling anyone." "Yes," Staff said, "but I understood his real meaning." Doga folded arms. "And what was his real meaning?" "That I should not tell useless people." "You are not useless this time." Doga did smile, only a little. "Thank you." I think Stuff leaned in further. "Also, Burger Bay was asking where you were." He looked calm, but not the nice kind of calm, the kind of calm that comes before someone renews your day. Doga smiles disappeared. Burke had been too quiet lately. He was not part of the family by blood, but he moved around the house like someone who wanted to own a place in it. He understood he better than everyone else. She had believed his attention was kindness. Now she was not sure. "Did he say anything else?" She asked. Scratched his head. He asked if Yaman was with you last night. Doga heart give a heartbeat. What did you say?" "I said Yaman Bay is usually with tools, mood or bad news, so it is hard to know. I am I do not say anything important," he promised, "but people are watching. I feel it. Even my tea tastes nervous." Doga thanked him and continued toward the old greenhouse. With every step she felt then the tightening around her. Someone had taken a photo of her and Yemen near the garden gate. Someone had told Burker enough to make him ask questions. Someone wanted to separate them before they found the truth. The thought should be scared her not stopping. Instead, it made her move faster. The old greenhouse stood at the far side of the property, half hidden by all grass and broken wooden fence. It had once been full of young plants, but now many of the glass panels were cracked and dust covered the metal forms. Yaman was inside, standing over a small table with papers spread before him. He wore a simple shirt with the sleeves rolled up, and there was a thin line of dirt near his wrist. Doga noticed these details before she noticed the serious look on his face. "You are late," he said without looking up. "You did not invite me. I told Chef not to tell you." He understood your real meaning. Yaman looked at her then, and despite the danger around them, a brief, tired smile touched his mouth. It vanished quickly, but Doga saw it. She had begun to notice this small changing in him. A week ago, his face and had been like a locked gate. Now, sometimes the gate opened only a little, just enough to show that there was life behind it. "What did you find?" she asked. Yaman pointed to the paper, old irrigation reports. There months ago, the water use suddenly increased, but crop output did not. Then repair cost rose. The reports say there was leak in different areas, but the damaged part were always replaced by same supplier. Doga looked over the page. "That could be managed." "It could be," Yaman said, "but the replacement parts are cheap quality, sold at high price. Someone is buying weak parts on purpose, letting them fail, then changing the company again and again." Doga felt anger rise inside her. Who proved the payments?" Yaman slid one paper toward her. "That is problem." She looked down. Her father's signature was there, not a copy, not a stamp, his real signature. For a moment she could not move. The lines on the page blurred. Yaman watched it carefully. A signature does not always mean he planned it. He may have signed without checking. Doga looked at him surprised. "Are you defending him?" "No, I am defending evidence. We need effect strong enough to stand in daylight." She took slow breath. And if the facts show now." Yaman did not answer quickly. Then you will need to decide what kind of daughter you want to be." The words were not cruel, but they were heavy. Doga turned away and looked through the broken glass at the field. What kind of daughter did she want to be? Loyal, blind, brave, ungrateful. People often use family as a beautiful word, but sometimes family becomes a chain. If she protected her father from the truth, she would become part of the lie. If she exposed the lie, she might destroy the only home she had ever known. Yaman came closer but kept a respectful distance. "You do not have to decide today." Doga have a small bitter laugh. "Men like my father never let people decide." Slowly, before Yaman called answer, his phone rang. He looked at the screen and his experience changed. It was his mother. He stepped outside to answer. Doga remained in the greenhouse staring at the signature. She could hear only pieces of his voice through the broken glass. His tone became softer, younger. Somehow he asked if she had taken her medicine. He said he was and eating properly through. Do was almost sure that was a lie. He promised he would visit soon. Then he pushed for a long time. "No, Annie. No, Annie," he said quietly. "I'm not in trouble." Doga closed her eye. Everyone lied to protect someone. Maybe that was where our trouble began. When Yaman turned he saw her, looked at the differently. What you become another person when you speak to your mother. His face closed at little. Most people do. No, she said, you become less angry. I am not angry all the time. Doga lifted her brows. He signed, fine, maybe open. Often she looked back at the paper. Doga, she now that what happened at the interview years ago. My mother asked no. Now how? Why not? Because she would blame herself for not buying me a better suit. Doga felt shame move through her again. It was not about the suit, I know, but I made it about that. Yes, this simple answer hurt more than a question. Doga lowered her eye. I'm sorry again. Yaman began greeting the paper. You already said that some mistake need more than one apology. Maybe he said, but after a point, apologize become about the guilt of the person saying them, not the pain of the person hearing them. Doga absorbed this in silence. It was not answer she wanted, but it was honest. She was learning that Yaman honesty rarely came wrapped in softness. Still, it was cleaner than the sweet lies she had grown up hearing. A car horn sounded in the distance. They both looked toward the road. A back vehicle was approaching the man house. Doga recognized it at once. This is my horn. Yaman placed the papers into a folder. In this good aboard, Doga face becomes serious with aunt nerve. Good and bad arriving in the same handbag. Neven entered the story like a woman who believed every doorway was a stage. She came from Istanbul dressed in cream colored clothes, large sunglasses and the kind of perfume that announced her before her voice did. She hugged with great warmth, kissed on both cheeks with equal performance, and called Doga my world flower in front of everyone as if Doga will steal a Tanger who had broken a vase at family dinner, but Envy's eyes were sharp. While she smiled, the mayor's while she joked and collected. She noticed Doga's tired face, hard silence, careful posture, and the everyone avoided saying Yaman name. By lunchtime, she has already understand that the house was full of smoke. She only needed to find the fire. The family gathered in garden of for coffee. Doga tried to escape, but Annie catch her wrist gentle. Sit with me, she said. You look like secret wearing shoes. Doga said no because she wanted to, but because refusing never only made her more interested. Removed her sunglasses and looked at the nice to tell you what, everything your mother is pretending not to now, and your father is pretending to control. Doga glanced toward the house. Aunt not here. Then where this in this family very room has airs, at least in the garden the trees are honest. Doga did not answer, leaned back. The air tightened. Doga watched her father and aunt exchange a look full of the old history. For the first time, she worried how many secrets exacted before her. One problem began. Turned to Doga. Burke is waiting in the office. There are contracts to review. Doga stood slowly. I thought I was removed for the files today. That was before I decided you needed supervision. The order supervision made her jaw tighten, eyes flashed, but she said nothing. Doga walked toward the office, feeling like she was being led into a room where someone had already arranged the trap, was waiting near the desk, dressed neatly as always. B had a clean face, smooth hair, and a voice that could sound warm even when his words we were cold. He smiled when Doga entered. He looked tired. I heard that a lot today, maybe because it is true, or maybe people keep saying it because they want me to feel weak. Smile faded a little. I am not your enemy, Doga. She closed the door behind her. That is exactly what enemies say when they need times. He signed as if she were began difficult. You are under pressure. I understand Yaman is filling your head with suspensions. Doga crossed her man's. Everyone seems very interested in my hated reality because you are acting unlike herself. No, she had. I am getting unlike the version of her myself that made everyone comfortable. Study her. Do you know what people are saying? I have stopped caring. They are saying you and Yaman are too close. Doga felt hate rise to her face, but she kept her experience. Still, people can say what they want. Your father will not ignore it. My father ignored everything until it threatens it control. Burkan took a step closer. Listen to me carefully. Whatever you think you are doing with Yaman, stop. He is not part of our world. He does not understand what damage can happen if certain matters become public. Doga looked at him with new attention. Certain matters. Eyes shifted for half a second. It was small, but she saw it. Business matters. Then say business matters. I just did know you connected yourself into them. He smiled again, but now it looked forced. You are becoming paranoid. Damage. Donga moved to the desk and picked up one of the contracts. And you are becoming nervous. Burton's voice is lower. Doga, I care about you. She she turned the pages without reading them. That must be trying for you. He stepped close enough that she could smile. His Colgon, I am serious. Your father is angry. The board is angry. If this continue, they will destroy Yemen professionally. Man like him think they can fight power with pride. They cannot. Pride does not pay lower. Doga looked up. Yes, was that advice a threat? It was reality. Then here is my reality, she said. If anyone tries to destroy him because he found the truth, I will not stay quiet. Face 100 for a movement. The polite mask fell. You think he's different because he speak to you like you are special, but men like him always want something from families like your. Doga voice become cold, and men like you want something from families like mine will pretending they already belong. The sentence hit him. His eyes darkened. Then just as quickly he smiled again. You are angry. I will forget you said that. I will not. Doga left the office before the called answer. Her hands were shaking, but not from fear, from clarity. Burqa now more than he should. He had tried to warn her away from Yemen, but in doing so, he had revealed that Yemen was close to something important. Doga need to tell him. She found Yemen near the side of road, speaking with an old worker named Camel. Camel had worked on the farm for almost 20 years. His skin was darkened by the sun, his hands were rough, and his eyes held the sadness of a man who had watched good things become damaged by greedy people. When Doga approached, Camel stopped talking. It is fine, Yaman said. You can speak in front of her. Camel looked unsure. Doga understood his hesitation. To him, she was still daughter, a person born inside the house, not under the sun. She spoke gently. If someone is hurting this farm, I want to know. Camel looked at Yaman, then back at her. Years ago, this place was honesty, he said, not rich, not easy. Say, but honest. When then new people came, new contract, new messages. We were told not to ask questions. Some workers were sent away after the complaint. Some stayed because they had families to feed. Some sent them away. Doga asked. Camel rubbed his forehead. Order came from the office from my father. He looked down. That was answer enough. Yaman stepped in. Did anyone threaten you recently? Camel hesitated. Last week a man came at night. He told me all workers talk to Cam. He said if loved my grandson, I should resort treat. Doga heart snack. Did you recognize him? But no, but he was not from here. Istanbul accent expensive which soft hand neither said his name. Camel reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded paper. I found this near the storage building after the storm. Maybe it is nothing. Yaman opened it. It was a delivery note, a half damaged by rain. Only part of the company name could be read, but its address was clear. It belonged to a warehouse outside. Yaman took a photo and handed the paper back carefully. Do not tell anyone you give us this, he said. Camel gave a tired smile. Son, at my age, silence is easy, trust is hard. After he left, Doga looked at Yaman. We should go to the warehouse now. Now you always start with no because you always begin with danger. She stepped closer. The documents may be moved soon. You heard the man. We may have another chance. Many looked toward the man house. If we go together, people will notice. Then we do not go together. That is worries. Why? Because if you go alone, you will walk into a trap. Will arguing with the trap. Doing Doga tried not to smile. That is very specific insult. It is very specific habit. She looked at him for a long moment. You are worried. I am practical. No, you are worried. Yaman looked away. Do not return every normal sensitive sentence into drama. Do not hide every human feeling under a stone. They stood facing each other, the argument almost familiar enough to feel safe, but this time neither was truly anger. The fear between them had changed its snap shape. It had become concern, and concern was more dangerous than dislike. Dislike kept people apart. Concern built a bridge. Finally, Yum said, we go tonight. Quietly, no one else now except Shift. Doga blinked, stepped. He has a car no one takes seriously. That sound exactly like stepped, and if we are followed, he will notice because he drive like a confused goat. Doga tough before she could stop herself. The second surprised them both. It was first real laugh she had allowed herself that day. Yaman looked at her for 1 second, too long, then focused on the road like it had suddenly become very interesting that evening. That The house hosted another dinner because envy had nerved and Perhan believed guests should be fed even during emotional disaster. The table was large than necessary. Dishes covered very empty space. Conversation moved with false politeness. Nev told stories about all Istanbul nigger boards. Staff dropped a spoon and apologized to the spoon. Was Doga watched everyone and tries to smile as if her family were not sitting on a hide bomb. Doga played her part carefully. She spoke lightly, laughed and jokes and avoided looking at Yaman, who had been invited only because insisted on meeting the engineer who had made the house no nervous, had wanted to refuse, but refusing would have made him look affected. So Yaman sat at the far end of the table, calm, polite, and completely aware that half the room wanted him gone. Studied him with interest. Yaman Bey Doga tells me you are very good at fixing broken system. Yaman glanced at Doga. Some system can be fixed. Nevin smiled and some need to be rebuilt from the foundation. Placed his work down. Engineers often think the world is made of machines. Families are not machines. No, Yaman said calmly. Machines usually show where the fault is. A dangerous silence followed. Doga lowered her eye to hide her reaction. Never looked delight, looked ready to fade. Gave a smile of a sharp word for a dinner table. Burke said. Yaman turned to him. I answered the sentence I hear. And what sentence did you hear? On that wanted to make weakness sound like tradition's face harder. You speak with confidence for a man whose contract is still under review. Dolga looked up quickly. Yaman did not move. My work can revive it, he said, so can everyone else. The room froze again. Doga felt both fear and admiration. Yaman was not being reckless exactly. He was drawing lines, but a powerful man hated lines drawn by people they considered beneath them. Broken the tension by clamping her hand. Once wonderful, finally a dinner where everyone says what they almost meant, whispered please, but envy only smiled and lifted her glass. The truth may it arrive both before the dessert. No one dared to that except Doga, and after a moment, Yaman later, when coffee was served, Doga excused herself. She was upstairs, changed into smile clothes, and tied her hair back. Her heart beat quickly, but her mind was clear. She placed her phone on silent and took a small bag with the flashlight, notebook, and copies of the papers. When she stepped into hallway, was waiting near the stairs. She stopped. Do you do no live in corridors? He smiled violently. I could ask where you are going. You could. And what you answer? No, his smile disappeared. Doga, this is not a game. I know. Then stop acting like a child. The word hide and all want Doga can hear different variant of the sentence all her life. The emotionally too dramatic, too young, too careless, too much. She looked at and felt something inside her settle into certainly. I was a child when I believed people who speak he spoke to like that love me. She said I am not a chill tonight. She walked past him. He grabs her visit. It was not hard enough to hurt, but it was enough to stop her. She looked down at his hand, then back at his face. Let go for 1 second. He did not then Footsteps sounded below. He released there quickly. Yaman appeared at the bottom of the stairs, his eyes moving from Doga face to hand. Everything all right? Yaman asked Burka, adjust himself. Family conversation. Yaman begins walking up the stairs slowly. Strange, it looks like a warming Doga step between them before the movement could explode. I am ready. Looked from her to Yaman, so it is true. Patience and ended. What is true? You two think you can play hero. You can stop beside Doga. His voice was quite moved. Gave him a cold smile or what? Yaman did not rise. His voice. I stopped asking politely. Doga felt their hair change. This was not dinner table tension. This was real danger. Understood it too. It stepped aside, but his eyes stayed full of anger. You will regret this, he said. Doga looked at him. Maybe, but I won't regret staying more. Outside, Soft waited near a small old car that looked like it survived three family years and one flood. He wore a cap pulled low over his forehead and sunglasses even though it was night. Why are you wearing sunglasses? Doga asked for scarcity. You look more suspicious. Steph considered these suspicious people never look suspicious on purpose. So I am safe. Yaman opened the back door. It made a sound like metal clamping about life. Just drive. They left from the side road, headlight off, until they were far enough for the house. The night was cool and the ask was heavy with cold. Doga sat in the back beside him. A difficult exam. For several minutes no one spoke. Then staff said we are began followed. Doga turned behind them for back to headlights moved along the road. Yaman looked through the rear window. Are you sure? I have been driving badly on purpose. Staff said that car is still behind us. Any more normal word pass or turn away. Doga stared at him. You can drive Rose on purpose. Staff shouldn't proved I have many skills. Yaman leaned forward. Take the old market road, then turn toward the harbour. But the warehouse is the other way. Doga said exactly. Staff turned suddenly and the old car grounded. The car behind them slowed, then followed. Yaman safe become harder. They are definitely following. Doga felt fear tight in her stomach. Maybe Yaman said, maybe someone he sent staff look. Another sharp turn. A Doga braked from a garden. The road narrowed, passing between old stone walls. The following